Well, hey now, it's been a while since we've had a new release that's been out, so it's time for our annual checkup to get our upgrades. I'm the doctor with ACDI, operating on your brain as we mind meld PaperCut version 20.0, and we'll do a Q&A session via chat after the presentation. Feel free to queue up your questions as we go along. I have a couple of guests with me today that will chime in and help answer. Mark Hart, the Executive Director of Business Development for ACDI, and Jeff McWilliams, ACDI's Director of Sales, are here. Glad to have them here with me today. Also want to let you know that ACDI has your prescription for information readily available for you, from these webinars, my podcasts, to our blogs. Amy does a great job getting stuff together for you, and many are a quick read to get you going. Check out our blogs, available now at acd-inc.com/ACDI blog. Take a moment and subscribe, won't you? Here's the highlights for version 20, an exciting integration directly into Epic systems that allow you to take full advantage of PaperCut features like secure release and Find Me printing. Plus, everything is tracked for all users of the system. More new features include an enhancement to the already popular Print Deploy, where users can select optional printers to use, and internet printing through Mobility Print. Yep, cloud print is what we're talking about. We're also talking about high availability, improvements on enterprise rollouts of PaperCut. You do know that PaperCut can be installed in any environment. It's not just for schools and small businesses. I've addressed setting up enterprise environments with PaperCut in technical webinars in the past. Here's some more verification of PaperCut's capabilities. Plus, we have device scripting to talk about, and easier rollouts of large MFP fleets is ready for many OEMs. Here we go. Healthcare, compliance, those two words together can spell financial disaster for a hospital, doctor office, or even a medical supply company if things are not done properly. The fines can be tremendous. And of course, the violation of patient rights, that to me is the biggest issue. And security is something that really needs to be addressed. So here's the scoop. I spilled the beans a bit ago. There is an official output app available in Epic's App Orchard. You'll see what it's for in just a moment. But this app is under the administrative category, and you'll notice the familiar PaperCut P. Cerner works right out of the box in most environments. For the rest, we can use some different print protocols or languages so everyone can talk to each other in the print stream. And ACDI has had similar encounters with a couple of other EMRs that are on the market today. With these tight integrations, PaperCut can no longer be thought of as just for education. We're actually one of the few print management systems to integrate fully with Epic and Cerner. And this enables healthcare environments to use the full feature set of PaperCut, including secure and Find Me printing, plus complete logging of jobs down to the user level. So let me expand a bit on what's going on with this Epic integration. The PaperCut dev team has been working hand in hand with Epic to build this web service that talks to the Epic Print Server, or EPS, as it delivers the print job. You may find a need for this integration even in a small clinic. It's not just for a large hospital. It's for any size healthcare facility that is running on the Epic platform. Works on any 2018 version or greater of Epic. We don't need a module for Cerner, but we do need to have a discussion with those that have a Cerner environment so we can make sure to get it set up correctly. Your ACDI rep can engage one of our solution architects to assist vetting out any Cerner or Epic opportunity that you may have. You know, pictures help. Just to give you an idea of how this happens, the print job flows through the EPS. Remember? Epic Print Server. Then the job is grabbed by the output app located on a different print server that can analyze and determine who sent it and what PaperCut needs to do with it. Hold it, print it, of course, account for it in all cases. As an FYI, you do need one PaperCut app server, or one of the apps, the Epic apps for each EPS that you have in the system. So tell you what, why don't we check in with Mark and Jeff to hear their view about how this can help you?
Thanks, Doc. Yeah, we'll absolutely chime in here, everyone. You know, we've been working in the healthcare space for many years now, but thanks to all of your support in the dealer channel and working with the end user customers, we're able to get the pressure back onto the PaperCut development team to say, hey, this is a big thing for us. And after many months of the PaperCut team working hand in hand with the Epic development team, we were able to finally get this integration announced. And so you'll see it out there on the App Orchard site, like Doc mentioned. And what it's going to do for you is, again, it's just going to give you your customer that level of confidence that the two products are communicating and working together properly, right? So you and your reps, you can go out, you can talk to, don't limit it just to hospitals. It's any systems that can be using the Epic EMR integration, right, on the back end. And so it could be local doctors' offices, pediatricians, whatever that may be. You're going to find Epic located in these places. It's very inexpensive when it's compared to some of the competitors for the smaller offices. So, and along with PaperCut, those go hand in hand. So just have a look at how you can optimize the print structure with Epic, being able to use our Find Me print queues in these environments. It's really keen to be able to offer that security when it comes to knowing who's releasing the print jobs for all of the healthcare information. And so it's definitely going to be something that you will be able to have a leg up on some of your competition out there.
Awesome. Thanks, Mark. Let's move into Print Deploy, the new self-service feature in PaperCut version 20. Print Deploy is taking the world by storm. When network administrators see Print Deploy, many find it easier than setting up group policies and other ways that are used to push out drivers. Print Deploy gets the right driver to the right person at the right location every time, all done seamlessly in the background without user intervention. Then a couple of scenarios came in, like offices that weren't set up logically by IP addresses, and that made it difficult to set up Print Deploy. Some printers might be only used occasionally by users. Maybe it's a wide format printer, color printer, maybe a production printer that they just don't need on a regular basis. So now admins can set up optional printers for the end user to install if they need it. A small application runs on the computer, user opens it, and with one click, the printer will install, ready for use in seconds. The interface includes a help section that can be customized. For instance, maybe the use case calls for a map to identify where the printers and the MFPs are. No problem. Just add in the URL and it's accessible right away. For the admin side of things, it's a very clean look. Select a printer on the right. Mark it as optional. Connect to the zone and deploy. Oh, by the way, this works for Mac, too. You know, PaperCut is very Mac-friendly. Print Deploy makes it easy to roll out drivers to the Macs with the same capability to add optional drivers for those users, too. It's just so cool because Print Deploy works for users on the domain or off the domain. If they're connected to the network but unknown to the system, then PaperCut can have them access the printers, send secure prints that are actually accounted for, and they have absolutely no access to the internal network at all, so it's safe for vendors, clients, or even visitors to use. Here's that client I was talking about. Printers are arranged in an easy-to-view list with a simple install button to click, and that'll add those optional drivers that have been approved for this user. Or click the garbage can to remove a driver. Easy enough. Which reminds me, all print deploy drivers, no matter if they're installed automatically or if the user decides to add one, all print deploy drivers automatically uninstall when the user leaves the area. So if they're somewhere else and go to print, no unnecessary drivers will be present for them to choose. So to see how this can really benefit you and your customers, I'm going to turn this over to Mark again.
Yeah, again, this is a nice feature that PaperCut's been working on for a while now. There's a lot of other competitive products that's been out on the market, and we feel like with this addition to PaperCut, it just really allows you to have a single product that you can place to be able to do both your print management and driver management. With the customers being able to select and choose the devices that they want to print to right from their own application, it makes it so much easier for them. It's right there in front of them, being able to print to any of the devices and see it right at their mobility device that they're releasing the job from is it's easy to use, right? It's great for them. From your standpoint, it's additional PS hours that you guys can sell to help that customer set up where their locations are, all the print devices, being able to configure those. So it does add both services for you and your customer, but from an ease of use standpoint, it's a great tool for your customers just to be able to see that. And it's something that they're used to already on the market with some of the other products.
Thanks, Mark. There's another benefit to Print Deploy, and that is the enablement of printing. Imagine that, print management that enables you to print, like our next example here, mobility print / cloud print. I'm sure you've heard speak of Google Cloud Print going away. Letters have been sent to administrators. And on the Google webpage is a link to an alternative to GCP. It's called Mobility Print from PaperCut, which is a free standalone version of the software. Mobility Print makes it easy to print when you're on the network, and now it's being expanded to off network so users can print over the internet. Mobility Print, now with enhanced cloud print, offers the ability, or maybe I should say enablement, of printing over the internet, currently from managed Chromebooks and very soon for Windows and Mac customers. Available with the free version, or if the end user needs authentication and tracking of the jobs, it's included with PaperCut MF as well. What makes this so cool is the technology. And without getting too deep, I'll just let you know that it's the same technology that's used in Google Meet, for instance. Jobs are optimized for delivery, and they'll be intelligently routed via the fastest method to the print server. If the end user is local, the job stays local. All safe and encrypted, up to the point that even PaperCut couldn't grab the job to print or view the data about the job. Mobility Print is very scalable, and admins have full control over all the queues, being able to revoke them instantly. So many benefits to this feature again. Let's check in with Mark and see what he has to say.
This is it's more than just a nice to have. We're trying to make it easier for customers to print. We feel like with the addition of mobility devices, everybody's walking around with a phone. It's great if they're on network, but being able to offer off-network printing, it's a replacement for the products that we've had previously in our portfolio, such as Printer On. We feel like that this functionality that's being added to Mobility Cloud Print will allow you to build a better story for your customers, so that as GCP is going away, you now have that ability to put PaperCut in and not only print through Chromebooks, but print really from any kind of device that you may have or your customers may have. And I think that's a big selling point for us. You can feel comfortable as a rep going in and talking to a customer, and if they start throwing out at you, well, I'm Windows based, or I'm using Chrome OS, I'm this, that, I've got an iPhone, can I guarantee that I'm going to print simply through PaperCut? And the answer is yes. Right. And so being able to offer this, and especially from an authenticated standpoint, with the full version of MF, is just another great way to add security features from mobility. We want to make it easy to print. Everyone that, you don't want to look at a 5-page PDF file on your phone and read through it. If you can easily print it and release it at devices, more and more people will do that. So this mobility print feature is just, again, offering a simple, easy-to-use solution for your customers.
And one of the best things about it, like all PaperCut products, it just works. Hey, if you have T-Mobile, maybe you had a problem last week using your cell phone. There was almost a full day outage. We as humans just don't like it anymore when tech fails. We're so dependent on it. Well, this is where high availability comes into play. The key words here are in-app solution. You'll find that terminology in many RFIs and RFPs. Using a network load balancer, or NLB, there we go, use another acronym, users can now set up PaperCut to provide high availability. Now, this in-app high availability solution protects the PaperCut application server so users can enjoy uptime. This solution supports external components as well as embedded clients, perfect in enterprise situations where printing is critical. Now, since you need a load balancer, and maybe you're not familiar with one or you don't have access to load balancing technology, ACDI can help. Mark, can you chime in on what's going on here and then maybe explain the benefits of this solution?
Yeah, for sure. For many years, we have been not considered an enterprise play with regards to PaperCut. We've always been pigeonholed into an education product, and it's a lot of our competitors have done a lot of marketing against PaperCut from a high availability standpoint. Over the years, we started adding things like secondary servers and site servers. Although they work and nicely, it's still not up to the same capabilities as some of the other print management tools that are on the market. So with this new features of adding high availability within the application itself, pairing it up with an NLB, network load balancer, really puts PaperCut on that same playing field, right? You now have the complete failover that you're going to need, whether it be in an education account where you truly need failover, or in your large enterprise Fortune 50, Fortune 500 accounts. You can count on PaperCut being able to run in those types of environments. We, being a new area for us, we started researching some players that are on the market today that have been in this space for a while. And at the recommendations of some of our partners, current partners today, they recommended us to loadbalancer.org. So it's a company based out of Europe, and they've been around for over 15 years. They've got both cloud-based and hardware-based load balancing software. We were able to work with the PaperCut development team and the loadbalancing.org development team prior to release to verify that the products and the new functionality do work well together. And so we're happy to say that, if you need a load balancer that, you don't already have something like that in your portfolio today, let us know. We'll be more than glad. This is something we're adding to our portfolio. Our engineers are trained and getting up to speed on this. So we're here for you if you need help and assistance with this.
Just so much awesome stuff going on. Again, it's just validating the point that PaperCut is not just for small schools or small businesses, because that's the way the competitors position PaperCut. They can't do much. How can you do much with some software that installs in like 15 minutes? Well, we can do a whole lot, as you can see, and it's scalable, and now we have the in-app capability. That, again, is the key word there, in-app solution with a network load balancer now for high availability. Just really, really cool stuff. Speaking of cool stuff, PaperCut comes with 80 plus reports out of the box. What if you need more? Data integrations solves this problem. Data integrations provides an interactive reporting BI dashboard that's populated from PaperCut usage data, and it's not just a single snapshot in time. With this data, PaperCut admin users are looking at trends over time, not just a fixed month-to-month basis. Being able to click and drill down for specific information. They can look at rates of changes over time, whose print growth is going the fastest, volume changes, print job sizes rather than number of print jobs. Key metrics that users are looking for, basically top 10 users, top 10 departments, savings, all high-level view. What application are you printing from? Duplex, simplex, I could just keep going on. The types of users needing this data are like finance teams and managers working on budgets and forecasts, the ones that require business intelligence. ACDI Analytics, it's new, very cool, and something a lot of your customers are asking for. Ask your ACDI rep for more information. Mark, I'm going to pick on you here a little bit, too, to share some thoughts on how this can help our partners.
This really came at a direct request from some customers. PaperCut does have a great set of reports that are built into the product today with 80-plus reports. But there was always scenarios where a customer wanted a couple of pieces of data off of report A and then added to report B, C. So they were always looking for customized reporting. We worked with the PaperCut development team over the last couple of years, and they did create a module that allows customers to go off and create their own. So they put a white paper together and explain how to pull the data from a database. But we wanted to take it a little bit further in that some customers, even though they can do it and it's documented, they choose not to do it, whether it's just time or convenience, and wanted to rely on someone else to create those dashboards and those customized reports for them. So again, working hand in hand with the development teams, we said, is there a way that we can pull the data from the PaperCut server, the database, pretty much real time, so that we can do advanced reporting or customized dashboards. And that's what this new integration is going to give us the ability to do. So real time, you should see coming out very soon from ACDI is our new analytics program. Please feel free to talk to your ACDI rep about that today. But we're going to have a series of customized dashboards that are specifically for your customers. We'll have some dealer tools as well. But this will start breaking down all of the real-time analytics that you would get from the reporting and being able to, instead of taking a specific snapshot in time with a report and generating that to a PDF file or a CSV, you'll be able to see it in a visual dashboard with graphs associated to real-time analytics. And you can start looking at these analytics to do predictive analysis, being able to say, hey, how often are we printing? What is the peaks? Who is the highest print volume users, what devices, and again, just using this for your own behalf of being able to explain to your customers when they say, all right, I get my bill at the end of the month, it's showing that we printed 8,000 pages. How were those pages printed? Where were they printed, right? It's MPS 2.0, being able to explain the print usage data along with your device analytics, pairing those up. So we think it's going to be a really great addition to PaperCut for your customers, as well as you as a dealer tool.
But wait, there's more. I can't resist that sometimes. Now, PaperCut version 20 offers device scripting. Hopefully you're aware of print scripting in PaperCut, allowing you to do all sorts of creative things with a print queue, from informative messages to sending jobs to the most effective printer. Here's an opportunity for professional services for your team to write JavaScript code to customize the experience right at your device. Or, of course, ACDI can help you too. Now you can do things like allocating quotas to print jobs and copy jobs separately, or maybe just quotas on color copying. While PaperCut is manufacturer neutral, it's not always manufacturer equal. Good news, if you look on the right, those are the OEMs that have just been added to the list for device scripting. The first version was in the Percolator in 19.2 and only had support for the list on the left, so this list that we're looking at is growing. Earlier, it was print deployment. Now I'm talking about devices. What this means, and I really wish this was available when I was doing large rollouts of copiers, what this means is you can take a simple spreadsheet, upload it through an easy-to-use interface inside of PaperCut, video instructions, template, and the spot to upload your completed file are all in one spot. You can even stage devices. So once the physical copier arrives and is on the network, with one click, you can have it added to PaperCut. We're just rolling this out, so it's not ready for prime time for all manufacturers yet. Konica Minolta, Sharp, Kyocera, Ricoh, Dell, Xerox, HP, and Toshiba can do it at present. And of course, we're hoping to add more very soon. Hey, great news for Lexmark devices. Integrated scanning is now available on Lexmark devices up to and including older devices and units with smaller screens all the way up to the 10-inch models. Lexmark users can now use the convenience scan features of integrated scanning as well as change print job settings right at the device. This comes in, of course, real handy as Lexmark actually makes some of the devices for other manufacturers. So now there can be a consistent look within that line, or when Lexmark is added to a mixed fleet, of course. Cloud scanning, just part of the integrated scanning from PaperCut, so this makes a very nice enhancement for Lexmark devices, now providing the full feature set of PaperCut. I'll wrap it up by getting a little techie with you. This is in regards to using G Suite and how PaperCut syncs for user info and provides authentication via Google. This initiative came out of feedback from PaperCut users about difficulties working with multiple domains in the one organization. Another very cool thing about PaperCut development, it's driven by user feedback. What a great way to design software. The issue can come into play with multiple G Suite domain environments where users with like names are distinguished by their UPN. Now, that's essentially like an email address. This solves the problem and allows PaperCut to identify the users and track and provide secure release efficiently. And that's all I have to say about that. There you have it.
Doc, question came in real quick on that one. Doc, are they going to be able to use multiple data sources to authenticate from within PaperCut?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Not only multiple like G Suite, but if there's an Active Directory and a G Suite, we can do that. We can combine two different sources and not a problem. And this started in 19.2 in the Percolator with Active Directory. So we found the issue there with Active Directory. Same type of thing. You've got UPN, you got a user. Maybe you've got, Peter Parker in both domains, and one has P Parker at whatever domain and the other one's PP Parker. So PaperCut would sometimes look at that as the same user because it's the same name and didn't distinguish between the UPN. So that's what we're talking about. That's what makes this so cool. All right.
Yeah, and I'll follow up with that a little bit. And reason why this is going to be another great selling point for you to your customers is we're seeing more and more organizations that do have different data sources, whether it comes through acquisitions. Specifically in healthcare, we ran into a customer that was using Active Directory, but they also had a host of workers that were on G Suite and using the Google authentication. So knowing that you can go into that customer and still use internal users, using Active Directory, using G Suite as authentication, and Microsoft is coming as well. Whenever they announce that, you've probably seen a few blogs and programs set up from PaperCut with regards to that. If you haven't, check out the website. It's out there now. But you will be able to authenticate across all of those different data sources, which is something that no one else is doing right now. And another selling point for you. It just makes you feel comfortable when you're going in. And if somebody says, can I authenticate against this? Then yes, you can.
Absolutely. You know, in my home environment, I don't have a server running here, so I'm using Windows Standard. I've got users replicated across all my workstations. I've got several in here. So I'm using Windows Standard, but I also have access to our G Suite dev site as well. So in this local instance, whenever you see me doing demos or the screenshots, I'm actually pulling from my Windows Standard, I'm pulling from G Suite, and I'm using internal users as well. Remember, enabling printing. That's what we're talking about with PaperCut. Again, weird for print management, but, you know, good way to get some of those clicks back as well when you're talking about using print management and locking things down. And sometimes we think, oh, boy, we're going to lose some of our click rates at the dealership. Well, here's a couple of great ways of getting them back. So there you have it.
Questions, Doc, thank you. Questions that came in with regards to throughout the presentation. One of those was, does the data integration addition require an SQL database, or can you use the internal standard Derby? And you can use the internal Derby. It works with either. There is a configuration file that you will have to follow that will report. It basically, on the reporting tab, on the customized report, you'll see a new tab that allows you to export that data real time. So there's configuration file. It's not in there turned on by default. So just if you have any questions with that, let us know. We'll be more than glad to help you with that. Another one that came in was, does the optional printer install and printer deploy require the advanced print enablement pack? And Doc, if I'm correct on this, I don't believe it does. I think it will work standard out of the box for that. There was another question with regards to KM certification. 20.0 has not been best certified as of yet. We're working diligently with the KM team. It is scheduled for the middle of next month. And if everything goes well, hopefully it'll be out a few weeks after that. We will, all of you KM dealers that are on here, or anyone with regards to KM, we will be working through the KM team, and we'll have some communication when this finally reaches best certification.
There's any other questions, Jeff? You've been kind of in the background as well. I don't know if you want to unmute. If there's anything that has been brought your way, you're welcome to chime in as well. If you have any other questions or anything, you can use the chat box. You can use the Q&A box. Of course, you can always keep up to date with all things ACDI. Follow us on all of our social media platforms. You know, let me advance the slide here. We'll get a little bit of some of that. Yeah.
And a lot of positive comments coming through today to the panelists about getting this recording and a copy of the PowerPoint. So feedback's been fantastic. So whenever you get it wrapped up, I think you're going to have some revisits from a number of people. It's been pretty fantastic. We had PaperCut on our sales meeting this morning, and we talked about 20.0. We talked about healthcare. We talked about what Doc referenced on the Epic integration. It's a major push for PaperCut. We've had so much success recently in the last, let's just say, 12 months. We have partners who are using alternative products, and now, given the strength of our integrations, the referenceable customers, people are seeing it. They're taking what they would consider their enterprise healthcare option, whether it was the company, the manufacturer, whoever was promoting it, and moving it to the side and going with an easier to use, easier to deploy, well-rounded, inexpensive, proven product like PaperCut. So not to try and sell you guys on it, but from a sales perspective, that's what's gotten me most excited, is the feedback from you guys about where PaperCut now stands in your quiver. It's first and foremost, especially when it comes to healthcare.
Yeah, this is a really interesting release because it's not, in some ways, there isn't like a fun thing. You know, I've had mobility print and some of those things in the past and doing customizations. But when you look at the nuts and bolts of what version 20 is bringing, it's opening up just a whole world of opportunities. A lot of places that we really couldn't even talk about before. So that's the best thing about this. So, you know, make sure you keep in touch with us, as I mentioned, with everything. We've got our blogs now. You know, make sure you subscribe to our blogs, acd-inc.com/acdi blog. Of course, I've got the my podcast, What's the Solution, on all of your favorite platforms as well. And I just popped up, I should say Matthew did, not me. Matthew's my producer. Matthew got the latest edition, which is, of course, talking about PaperCut version 20, up on all of the hosting platforms there. So if you want to download that, take it with you. It's a good, I think it's about 15 minutes or so, a quick review on version 20 as well. So there we go. All right, gentlemen, any other questions coming in? Any other comments that you'd like to make?
No, just a quick thank you for everyone for attending today and spending your Friday afternoon with us learning about the product. It's ready to go now. For your customers, get out there and start upgrading, installing it with new customers. I want to send a special shout out to the PaperCut team and just say thanks for all the efforts that they put forth in making this another great release for us. They continue to make this living product better every day. And we're just excited about the partnership and just excited all around about 20.0 with healthcare, with Lexmark scanning added, everything that we put into this release, data analytics. It's going to be great for all of us. So thank you. And as always, if you have questions, please come out and get a hold of us, email us, call us, whatever. We're all here to support you.
Absolutely. I've got my email up there. If you don't have anybody else's, you can reach out to me at thedoctor@acd-inc.com. Again, we certainly appreciate everybody attending today. Thank you very much. We'll see you at the next one. I'm Doc Balgi for ACDI. Be safe, be kind.